You have loved them until you are empty. You have forgiven them until you are numb. You have turned the other cheek so many times that you are dizzy from the spinning. And yet, nothing changes. They still drain you. They still twist your words until you don't even know what you said anymore. They still make you feel like you are the problem. And the worst part? You feel guilty for wanting to leave. Because you are a Christian. You are supposed to be loving. You are supposed to be forgiving. You are supposed to endure. So you stay. You keep answering the phone, you keep reopening the door, and you keep explaining yourself. And somehow you keep getting hurt. Look at me. There is a difference between a difficult person and a toxic spirit. A difficult person needs grace. A toxic spirit needs a boundary. And if you don't learn the difference, the enemy will use your kindness as a weapon against your peace. Today, we are going to talk about the biblical truth regarding toxic people. Not pop psychology, not trending advice, but what Scripture actually shows us about when to stay, and when even Jesus chose to walk away. Welcome home to Bauer Bible Study. Here's the lie many believers quietly live under. They believe that setting boundaries is unchristian, that saying no is selfish, that creating distance is unloving. But when you actually study the life of Jesus, you see the exact opposite. Jesus loved everyone. He healed everyone who came to him in faith. He died for the world. But he did not give everyone the same level of access. He had the crowds. He had 72 followers. He had 12 disciples. And he had 3 in his inner circle. That wasn't favoritism. That was wisdom. Jesus did not let the Pharisees into the upper room. He did not chase the rich young ruler when he walked away. He did not beg Judas to stay loyal. Jesus understood something many believers forget. Access is a privilege, not a right. So how do you know if you're dealing with a toxic spirit and not just a difficult personality? Let's talk about the signs. Sign number 1. They require endless maintenance. You are always fixing something, fixing their emotions, fixing their reactions, fixing misunderstandings that shouldn't exist. You explain yourself again. You apologize again. You adjust your tone again. And still, nothing is ever resolved. You leave conversations mentally exhausted, confused, foggy, second-guessing yourself. That confusion is not accidental. Scripture says that where self-seeking and envy exist, confusion follows. Healthy relationships bring clarity. Toxic ones drain your mental and emotional strength. If confusion consistently follows a relationship, you are not dealing with mutual communication. You are dealing with a stronghold. Sign number 2. They cannot celebrate you. When you get blessed, they get quiet. When you succeed, they find a flaw. When you grow, their attitude shifts. Scripture shows us this through King Saul. Saul loved David when David was useful. But the moment David stepped into visible favor, Saul turned against him. Toxic people love proximity to your gift. But they resent the visibility of your calling. They are comfortable when you are small. They feel threatened when you shine. And if you're not careful, you'll start shrinking just to keep the peace. Sign number 3. They weaponize your past. They bring up old mistakes, old labels, and old versions of you. Not to help you heal, but to keep you manageable. This is not correction. This is accusation. And accusation does not come from God. God convicts to restore. The enemy accuses to control. If someone keeps pulling you backward every time you try to move forward, they are not walking with your future. Now here's where many believers get stuck. They recognize the toxicity, but they don't know what to do with it. So let's talk about biblical response. First truth. Not everyone can go with you. You cannot carry every relationship into your next season. Abraham had to separate from Lot before God spoke clearly again. As long as Lot was with him, there was strife, tension, and confusion. The moment they separated, God spoke. Some of you are asking God for direction, but He is waiting for separation, not because He is harsh, but because clarity requires space. Second truth, forgiveness does not require reconciliation. This is one of the most misunderstood ideas in the church. You think, if I forgive them, I have to stay close. No. Forgiveness is commanded. Trust is built. You can forgive someone and still say, you no longer have access to my inner world. Jesus forgave the ones who crucified Him, but He did not re-enter relationship with them. Scripture tells us to guard our hearts with diligence, because everything flowing out of you comes from there. If toxic people poison your heart, your prayers suffer. Your relationships suffer. Your discernment suffers. You're not protecting them by staying. You're harming yourself. Third truth, release the need to win the argument. This one is hard. You want them to understand your pain. You want closure. You want fairness. But a toxic person is not listening to understand. They are listening to reload. Jesus warned us not to cast pearls where they will be trampled. That isn't insult language. That is wisdom. Stop explaining your heart to people committed to misunderstanding you. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy. Walking away from toxic people does not make you unloving. It makes you obedient. Jesus walked away from entire towns that rejected truth. He did not argue. He did not chase. He shook the dust off His feet and moved on. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is disengage. And here's the part no one prepares you for. When you finally pull away, the enemy often launches one last attack. He tries to make you feel guilty. He tries to rewrite the story. He tries to convince you that you were the problem. But you do not need to defend yourself. God is fully capable of handling your reputation. Let Him. Your peace is too expensive to sacrifice on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. Your calling is too important to stay entangled with people committed to chaos. It is time to guard your heart. If this spoke to you, type, "I am guarding my heart," in the comments. And listen closely. If you feel the urge to defend yourself, to explain your side, or to fight one more battle, there is a biblical strategy for that. Click the video on your screen. I explain exactly how God deals with the people who hurt you when you finally stop fighting. Click it now. God be with you.